What happened?
Good evening. We're interrupting the baseball game for breaking news out of Pennsylvania. Former President Donald Trump has been shot while at a campaign rally earlier this evening. We're hearing reports that the shooter is dead as well as a bystander.
Be the new poster. This is going to go quadruply platinum. That's that. So when you see that, what that tells you is that Trump has won this election. Trump has won this election. He turned his head. The bullet missed him, went through his ear. He turned his head at the last second.
They're gonna take him off stage, and Trump says, "Wait."
About Thomas Matthew Crooks, the 20-year-old suspect who attempted to assassinate former President Donald Trump. After Crooks fired multiple shots from an AR-style rifle, a Secret Service sniper shot and killed him. In a briefing Sunday, the FBI said that limited insights from his recent communications didn't reveal anything about Crooks' motive or suggest that anyone else was involved. But some answers may lie in Crooks' cell phone, which the FBI shipped to its lab in Virginia. Crooks lived in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, about an hour's drive south of Butler, where the rally took place.
Thomas Crooks.
He graduated from Bethel Park High School in 2022. He seemed to have little social media presence or record of political activism.
He was quiet, but he was just bullied. He was bullied so much. He'd wear hunting outfits sometimes.
That day, Thomas Crooks came within a quarter-inch of destroying this country. And yet, a year and a half later, we still know almost nothing about him or why he did it. That's because, for some reason, the FBI, even the current FBI, doesn't want us to know.
Maybe the assassination was not something that we don't know the full story. So maybe it was staged. Maybe it was faked. Maybe it was some kind of message to him, although I don't understand that.
Now, it's been months since Tucker Carlson did a deep dive into President Donald Trump's would-be assassin, Thomas Crooks, and the FBI's lack of interest in, investigating it, including the motive. Now, more conservatives are beginning to question what exactly happened in Butler, Pennsylvania during the 2024 presidential election. Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of the more vocal individuals who's starting to ask questions. We'll get to her in a second, but first, Cenk, your 2 cents.
First of all, there is no such thing as conspiracy theories. That's my new conclusion.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so what that is a term used by the media to make sure you don't challenge the government and their official story. Because the media is not in the business of news, they're in the business of propaganda for the powerful. So just drop the conspiracy nonsense. It's a theory, okay? And is this particular theory an interesting one? Absolutely. And I'm a person who thought it was perfectly real, and I thought it was heroic what Trump did. I'm now definitely rethinking that based on some of the evidence we're gonna show you.
Well, okay, first let me just say, there is no smoking gun, so don't wait for that. I don't have a theory, okay? My take on this is very strange, okay? And I don't trust our government because our government has already lied about the suspect behind it, right? So Thomas Crooks was shot and killed at the scene, so there isn't gonna be a trial or anything. But there was a big lie that was uncovered by Tucker Carlson in the special that he did on this incident, on this case. So we'll get to that in just a minute. But first, while we still have trouble getting Trump to shut up about the 2020 election, which he lost to Joe Biden, it is very strange that we never hear Trump ever mention Butler, Pennsylvania. Ever. Or, by the way, the second would-be assassin who was arrested near Mar-a-Lago. How come he never talks about any of this stuff? How come he doesn't demand investigation? He wants investigations as a freaking James Comey, but he doesn't want to know more about motives behind his would-be assassins?
No, look, guys. So it's really hard for us from the outside to determine what actually happened. But is it perfectly legitimate to ask questions? Of course, if you're in media, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to ask questions of the government, challenge the government to find out what really happened. You're not supposed to blindly accept things they say, especially when they don't make any sense.
Trump even told the BBC last year that he doesn't like dwelling on it. You dwell on everything. He dwells on crap from like multiple decades ago.
Are you kidding me? I mean, 2020, he thinks he lost an election. He can't let it go. Imagine if he was actually shot at. And that's why I remember when he was giving the speech at the RNC and he said, this is the only time I'll ever talk about it. I remember saying, that's not true at all. Like he's never gonna be able to stop talking about this. But I was wrong. He doesn't talk about it anymore. Okay, so if you don't think that's strange, now you're being weird. That's definitely strange. So that's point one.
So over the weekend, one of Trump's strongest supporters, who apparently no longer is a strong supporter, her name is Trisha Hope. She was actually a January 6th activist and a national delegate for Trump. She posted a lengthy post on X explaining her thought process on this whole situation because she finds it very strange. I'm gonna read exactly what she wrote verbatim. I was a longtime Trump supporter. I became a national delegate to make certain Trump was seated as the nominee. On the night Trump spoke at the RNC, he had the ear patch on. Remember, he had like a giant female hygiene product like attached to his ear. As Trump began to speak, he started with this. So many people have asked me what happened. Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened, and you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. So in regard to his statement there, Trisha Hope says, my first thought was how odd for him to begin this way. In my opinion, Trump made that statement to stop any further conversation about what happened. He gave us his official story, would only do it once, and that was the end of it. Now we all know no one loves Trump more than Trump, so this to me felt completely out of character.
Yeah, no question.
Okay.
So there's more videos, keep going.
Following the inauguration, I found it odd that Trump wasn't going aggressively after those who allowed this to happen. He seemed to behave like it was no big deal. His Secret Service detail failed him miserably, failed him massively, allowed him to be shot, and they allowed that perfectly timed photo op to take place. Since the attempt on his life, Trump has shown no interest in investigating what really happened. He never mentions it. It's as if it never happened, except when he tells us he took a bullet for us. So she gets a little, she starts like sharing her own theories. She thinks the man who actually got killed that day, Corey Compatore, was basically used as part of the plot. Someone had to die. Otherwise it would have been much easier to claim it was a hoax. They killed Corey likely because he was truly a real life hero, one people would rally behind and defend passionately as they should. Then to top it off, they used Corey to their benefit at the convention. To this day, his wife is begging for answers she has repeatedly been denied. Sadly, there have no more use for her. They have no more use for her. So she no longer matters. So that's her theory. Obviously, we don't have any evidence to back any of that up, right? But
there's one thing in there that makes sense.
Okay, go ahead.
So I don't know what happened with the gentleman who was shot and killed, and now we're getting into deeper waters.
Secret Service counter snipers were present, yet the shooter still got multiple shots off, and oh yes, this was the first rally he had counter snipers and also the first rally he held that CNN decided to televise. Text.
and welcome to The Five. President Trump just announcing that Charlie Kirk has died after being shot.
Meanwhile, we're getting new details about the rifle allegedly used in Charlie Kirk's assassination coming to light now and could hinder the investigation.
Alexis McAdams is live in Utah with those details. Good morning, Alexis.
Good morning, Rachel. And so we are trying to get the latest details about that weapon, but investigators had already told us one thing that we knew a few days ago, was that they found the rifle out wrapped in a towel right near the shooting scene. So they had it, but what we didn't know was exactly how old it was. And it's important to point that out because police say the suspect might have chosen that gun because it was pretty much untraceable. I want to show it to you on your screen for people watching at home. This is what that weapon looked like, according to authorities.
It strikes me as odd that in both cases the weapon belonged to a family member and was old. That way, there's no serial number on it.
It's a Mauser model vintage rifle that investigators say is so old they didn't even have a serial number on it, so they wouldn't have been able to track it down. This is the weapon that police say Tyler Robinson used to assassinate Charlie Kirk that day. It dated back several decades, the gunman calling it Grandpa's rifle, texting his transgender partner after the killing saying this. I want to pull up these text messages because this whole thing had come to light too the other day. I'm worried what my old man would do if I don't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't know if it has a serial number on it, but it wouldn't trace to me. I'm worried about handprints. I had to leave it in a bush, though, where I changed outfits. I didn't have the ability or time to take it with. And then he actually kind of stayed around the area, we're told, to see if he had the time to get it and take it to his car. Court documents say the Utah State Bureau of Investigations, who's working this case, found DNA from the murder weapon that they believe is consistent with Tyler Robinson. Police say Robinson also admitted in a text message that he shot and killed Kirk, texting back and forth to his partner, kind of giving a lot of information. Back out here live, while Robinson sits in that county jail behind me in Utah, his partner is cooperating with authorities, I'm told, so they're trying to get as much information as they can from that partner. At one point, though, Robinson texted, "I am sorry, I've just had enough of his hatred about Charlie Kirk. Some hate just cannot be negotiated out." And you just think about, Kirk's family hearing about these horrible details as they prepare for this huge memorial. So many people are going to focus on the good things that Charlie left behind as we try to figure out more about the gunman. Back to you.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men just like the one who took his life. That young man, on the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. love for our enemies, and love for those who persecute us.
Announced here at AmFest, and there were some murmurings before the event, is this 25 city-wide tour that you guys are going to do. Talk a little bit about that.
We're actually, I think, up to about 28 cities, and they seem to be climbing a little bit, so we'll see where we end up. But it is called Make Heaven Crowded Tour. So this is with TPUSA Faith. We're going to be hitting cities across the country, really trying to take the spirit of the memorial. You know, we originally were looking at doing one kind of single big event for TPUSA Faith. And certainly I think that would have been a huge value add and an exciting opportunity. But when you think about how many people you can get into a single venue, I mean, even here at America Fest, you know, at any given time, there's only about 15,000 people that are in the room, even though we have 30,000 people that are here at the event that are kind of coming, you know, at various, you know, parts from the vendors and the expo hall and different workshops and things like that, as well as the main stage. You know, we really felt like the value was to go to churches across the country and bring that sort of spirit of the memorial and just the work that we do here at TPUSA Faith. So we're going to be bringing about 3 to 5 speakers per stop. Some stops might have even more depending on what it is. These are going to be evening events. The first one is going to be kicking off in January. We'll have some announcements on that here very soon. And we just can't wait to get started with these. I think it's going to be exciting. We have some of the biggest churches in the country are hosting these. And I think it's really going to help kindle and continue to steward well this revival moment that we're in.
Well, I mean, the key question is why do it? And I think you just sort of hinted at that. Even the name of the event sort of hints at that. At the end of the day, when these tours are done and you've gone to all these 28 or more cities, what do you want the impact to be?
You know, it's interesting. There's obviously critics all the time of anytime you're doing serious work and you're doing effective work, there's always going to be people on the outside that are naysayers or have their outside opinion or something like that. And I think that, you know, as we move forward in a world without Charlie Kirk, it's very important for me. I've been on the team for 18 months. Charlie personally recruited me to come and lead TPUSA Faith. And, you know, we're staying the course. We know what the mission is. You know, Charlie and I talked about these things all the time together personally. The work hasn't changed. I wish Charlie was here to see it, but our mission is the same and we're moving forward. We want to see the church in America strengthen. We hope that happens from these events of building up the church and, you know, drawing crowds and helping to, you know, get people that are new converts assimilated into churches in their area. We hope to also get the church to stand strong on cultural issues. You know, for too long, the church has been like that Gideon figure hiding in the wine press, hoping the battle's going to go on without them. And we're trying to, you know, come to them and say, hey, rise up, you mighty valiant warrior. It's time to get in the fight. Time to get in the fight. Time to get in the fight.
Do you know what you would say to him?
Nothing.
You would say nothing?
I have nothing to say to you. Nothing.
Is there a difference, Erica, between forgiving someone in a religious and spiritual sense, but also wanting justice for them here on earth?
No, of course. But we serve a just God. And I rest easy in knowing that He's sovereign, but He's just.
That's a little bit disturbing for me because Christ really is king.
Did you become a Christian in 7 days?
No, I became a Christian both instantaneously, but over the entirety of my life.
Do you see the religious narrative being played out in world politics? Are the motives of some of the world's most powerful people hide in plain sight? Or do we get carried away believing the unbelievable? I think the people you see shaping stories and are known by the world are there by design. Join me in part 2, where we look into the illusion of the stage, and we aim to drop the curtain on who these people are.